Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Who is the most impressive blue blood today?
For me, this one is easy, and I think that it is the Kentucky Wildcats going into the O Dome. I know it's got a different name. I'm not going to refer to it by that name. It is, and it always will be the O Dome, and knocking off a talented Florida team, 87-85. I was so impressed with the way that team was able to take punches and withstand and be able to come back and find a way to win. They were down by 11 at one point in the first half. There was a stretch in the second half where after Kentucky finally came back and took the lead, Florida immediately scored 9 straight points, had an 8-point lead with about, I think, 11 minutes left in the game, and they still found a way to come back to win. It was the first time that this group of young Kentucky freshmen went on the road to a real, true road environment, playing a program in the SEC, dealing with the kind of fan base and student section and loud road arena that you're going to get playing in that conference. And it didn't phase them at all. And Jerel, I kind of feel like to me, it's to the point where I think that these freshmen are too young to realize that stuff is not supposed to be as easy as it was, right? Like take Aaron Bradshaw, for example. I don't think he really played all that well tonight. He finished with 10 points and 7 boards, had a couple steals, had a block, but he was just kind of there, and he wasn't great. And then he comes up at the end of the game with 2 minutes left. He gets a block on the layup that would have put Florida ahead with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and comes down at the other end and bangs home a 3 that gave Kentucky a 79-76 lead and more or less won the game for them in that moment. And I could not be more impressed with this young group. Like, you're not supposed to do this as a freshman. You're not supposed to do this in an era where you're going up against 23 and 24-year-olds, right? And I think the ability of this Kentucky coaching staff to develop the confidence, develop the self-belief, and embrace the talent that is on this roster. And instead of trying to force fit and do what Cal has always done, he's embraced what they have and how to do it. I could not be more impressed with this Kentucky team right now. They're so much fun to watch. They're so easy to root for. And DJ Wagner, Jerel, he was awesome tonight.
Yep, absolutely, and just going off exactly what you said, Rob. It's been a little bit of a trial by fire for these guys, and to be honest, and this is just speaking a little bit just from my own experience. When I was my freshman year at Marquette, we had like a really highly touted freshman class as well with me, Dominique James, Wes Matthews. And it was sort of the same thing. You know, we were guys that came in and we started every single game right from the tip. And obviously, it's a lot of pressure. You go through growing pains. We dropped some early games at home that we probably weren't supposed to drop. But as you keep just kind of getting through the schedule and keep your head down and keep working, you know, as you get halfway through that season, even as a freshman, you kind of lose that whole tag, you know, the freshman thing or the freshman wall or the inexperienced thing. These guys are getting experience on the fly here, and I think you hit it, kind of hit the nail on the head for me because the plays that Bradshaw made, man, down the stretch were huge for them, and I think he just gives them just the added dimension. With his size, he gives them a little bit more size inside. He gives them rim protection because he's able to block shots. And that last play, just being able to come down there, Wagner was great all night, but man, just the poise that he showed tonight, especially on a night where Dillingham didn't really get it rolling as much as we've been early on here in the season. He was really poised, man. He did a great job of taking care of the ball, staying under control, and he just made the right read. They tried to ice him there a little bit on the side or down the pick and roll, and he hit Bradshaw on a nice little pocket pass there for him to step into and make a big 3, man. And he made a big play prior to that on the other end with a huge block for a game stealing stop that they needed as well too, man. But these guys are good. They're young. Antonio Reeves, I think he's just been a calming force on that team. He's a guy that does have experience and can provide them for a consistent guy to lean on night in, night out to get a bucket when they need it, man. And they got a good balance right there. I mean, outside of the crazy play that Shepard made at the end, you know, that didn't look like a team that was comprised of so many, you know, highly touted young guys, you know. But outside of that, man, they did a great job of taking punches.
That's
like
what freshmen are supposed to do.
Bro. Yes, exactly what they're supposed to do. But
Yeah, Reed Shepard, for the people that didn't see it, Reed Shepard in a 4-point game with about 6 seconds left, he fouled a dude shooting a 3 with 0.3 seconds left on the clock to put him on the free throw line with a chance to make 2 free throws, miss it, and get a tip in to tie the game, right? That's what freshmen are supposed to do. They're not supposed to make 9 out of 11 free throws like Reed Shepard did. And to me, the most impressive part, Goodman, is that Robert Dillingham and Reed Shepard, they didn't play great. Right, like Reed Shepard's numbers look really good, but that's because he hit. I think he was 7 for 7 or 7 for 8 from the line in the last minute. He was a guy that they fouled every single time, so he made a bunch of free throws to make sure that his he finished with 14 points. But he didn't play great. Robert Dillingham had 6 points, 4 turnovers. He only played 18 minutes. You didn't see him sulking on the bench. He was over there cheering everybody on, and I think to me that is the biggest thing about this group is that. There's obviously a lot of egos on that roster, right? You come in as a 5-star McDonald's All-American, top 10 prospect, top 15 prospect. You see your name on draft boards, and they've bought into this idea that, like, okay, there's going to be nights where Antonio Reeves is the guy. There's going to be nights where DJ Wagner is the one that's able to get in the paint and make the plays. I'm Robert Dillingham. I might end up being a lottery pick, but it's okay if I go 2 for 7 with 4 turnovers and don't play like the last 8 minutes because my guys got me and we're going to win. And a rising tide lifts all ships. I think Justin Edwards, he only played 18 minutes tonight. He was a guy that's projected as a top 5 pick coming in and has not played great this year. And I don't think you see him sulking. I still think you see him making plays out there. Now, he's not as good as we thought he was going to be, but it was. I just thought it was so impressive what they did. And here, Goodman, I have something for you, right? This is where I want to talk about Vaulted real quick, and I want to see what you have to say about this. Vaulted is an app that allows you to participate in daily cash prize pools without an entry fee. It is a place you can store your own predictions forever, and by using the Vaulted Challenge feature, you can prove you're smarter than your enemies like Jeff Goodman. So go download the Vaulted app, that's VLTED, to challenge your friends, store your predictions, and join daily cash prize pools. Here's what I got, Goodman. Here's my challenge to you. I am saying that these Kentucky Wildcats are going to go out and win the SEC title. I think that they are the best team in the conference, and I think they're going to prove that to us as they are only going to get better this year. What say you, Sir Goodman?
Listen, it's tough for me to argue with that right now. I mean, Texas A&M was a preseason favorite. They lost today. You know, Alabama, they look good, but they don't really have a resume win. Arkansas looks terrible. Auburn looks like their best competition, along with maybe Tennessee right now. So I'm not going to – I love arguing with you. I don't think I can argue with you. Here's one final thought on Kentucky, since you two have dominated the conversation on Kentucky, which I don't really.
It's been nice. The fans have loved it. We have the most positive chat we've had in years.
Everybody knows I love Kentucky. No, seriously. 2 things. One, I was very concerned about their leadership because you had 2 guys that came in late in a sense, right? Trey Mitchell came in late from West Virginia after Bob Huggins was fired. Antonio Reeves came in late because he was checked out for much of the summer and planning on transferring and wasn't able to. So I wasn't sure how that would work. Both of those guys were great tonight. The other thing I'll say is there's nobody better at figuring out how to get freshmen locked in and accepting their roles than John Calipari. Okay, we can say what we want about him as an X's and O's guy and how antiquated his offense has been the last few years, and finally he's adapting. More than anything, this dude knows how to push the right buttons with players, and part of it is the track record, right? To be able to show these kids. Anthony Davis was a guy who really gave up a lot when they won a national title. What was he, like the 4th leading scorer or something on the team? 5th, it was something like that, right? So I think that's where Calipari thrives, and that's where he's thrived with this team, where with all these freshmen. Really, again, Dillingham coming off the bench, Wagner not playing a lot of minutes one game. Reed Shepard not playing as much as people like me think he should play. So I think that's a big part of why Kentucky has been so successful when we didn't think that was going to happen with such a young team playing against a bunch of 23, 24-year-olds around the country.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.